Hello. Oh shit, stream's up.
Good evening and welcome back to SFR for round number 6 at the Singapore Grand Prix. My name is ILT Indigo and joining alongside me today is a driver and it is Rogue Smithy. Hello mate, how are you doing?
I'm alright, thank you very much. How are you doing?
Not too bad, I had a few drinks but I'm alright, I'm a bit tired in the process after those few drinks so hopefully I'll be alright. Let me get my glasses on as I say every week. And how are you looking forward to this race?
Yes, it's one of my favourite tracks, and I know it will be a very interesting race. 18 drivers on a very tight circuit. It doesn't usually go well. Of course, there's track changes to the circuit from I believe last season. I don't know if we raced this layout or not, but absolutely love this track, and I know a few of the drivers do, so it will be an interesting race.
Yeah, you are right. The track layout was designed last year for 2023 because I remember 2022 where we saw Perez and Leclerc go at it, and I remember those low speed corners, those four corners we had in that last sector where Leclerc was so close but yet could overtake Perez, and after that he pulled a 5 second pulled a 5 second deficit as well after he got a penalty. Don't know why though, but I actually can't remember to be honest with you. I think it was due to a pit lane incident. I'm not quite sure, or safety car infringement, but yeah, obviously you prefer to be out racing here today, but how do you feel about how things are going to go in this race?
It's always very different every week. Usually have the same names up there, but there is always one or two surprises always up and down the grid. So we should see maybe a driver go up the grid from last week or down the grid from last week. You don't know. Um, yeah, very interesting track. Of course, it's very tight, very twisty, and yeah, it's always been a fan favourite and a driver favourite as well. I believe in SFR, so it should be interesting both in quali and the race.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Singapore has always produced some good races in the past, not only in league racing but in actual F1 as well, where it's got a track record for 100% safety car appearances. Well, believe in 2023, a safety car came out due to Logan Sargent crashing into the wall and losing his wing, or probably Esteban Ocon, who had an engine failure. But a safety car has appeared in every single venue at the Singapore Grand Prix, introduced back in 2008, and it was also the first race as a night race too. Then Bahrain obviously came along with Qatar and other night races too. But we've got Kieran on a flying lap headed down towards turn 7. He's a 27.5 in the first sector. Could quite see the first sector as the live view account was popping up on the right hand side of the screen, but he's on the med tyres, so don't really see the mediums being used, but it took a nice wide angle into the turn 9 left hander and got away with it too. I expected him to validate there because it looks like all four wheels were off the track, but now we're coming into this twisty middle part of the lap. It can be very difficult getting close to the walls, but they slightly missed the apex on the entry as we come down towards Anderson Bridge, where DRS is enabled in the third sector here. The back end of the car is stepping out as we've got a bit of a lag spike going on too for good measure as we head down towards turn number 13. I believe this is hitting the apex on the entry there. Try not to use all the road on the outside because you will get a validation. The white lines are there for a reason as we make our way down to this short straight there. What's your opinion on the new layout? Do you prefer the old or new?
All on, all day. As much as this one does provide more of an overtaking opportunity, I much prefer the old one. It was more of a challenge for the drivers. So I think the old one should come back, in my opinion, but it won't, sadly. But it's yeah, I think it's a really good layout as it is as well. So it will provide will will still provide some good racing, even though the old layout is gone, which I did thoroughly enjoy more. But we will have some fun here tonight anyway.
And Zena goes into P2. He's a 10th off, interestingly, on the soft compound tyres. JDM, your former teammate, is in P3 with Smoke in P4. Mackett goes to the top of the timer sheets with a 29.2, so already 1.8 seconds quicker than second place on that lap. So it looks like he's already comfortable getting to grips with this track. Obviously, first the people on their first laps might be just getting exploratory lap time, just trying to feel for the track or not showing their true potential pace. It is a banker lap, and also the track will improve as well. We'll get even more grippier, and we'll see how the drivers progress. We've got Aston Martin coming towards the line now, and he goes into P2. That's Nolders with a great lap time, 4 tenths away from Mackett in the Alpine. We've got Draugen now making his way towards the final two corners. He narrowly missed out the podium last race in Baku. He goes into P2. Another good lap time there from Draugen in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, narrowly into P2 as well. Just 86 hundredths off of Mackett. Mackett's been really consistent this season, consistently in that top 5, top 6. Bahraini with a nice lap there, 4 tenths quicker than Mackett. Sam Mogter off for the Red Bull.
And Bahraini as well scored a podium after defending from Jalgren. He did the one-stop strategy where other people did it too, as the safety car came out to influence the race and change strategies around. So Bahraini survived with 20 lap all medium compound tyres and took the podium, only just there one more lap. Then for sure Jalgren would have got him. But we'll see if Jalgren can repeat what he did last time and get over his podium. And MDJ, who finished second, by the way, last race, after he started P17, he crashed at the castle section. Yeah, you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, brilliant Williams on 2. Hopefully it can be repeated today with Adams. So we will see. I would love to see a Williams on 2 again, help us in the constructors. Hopefully for my hopeful return next week in Austin. Which, yeah, depending on how my calf is as well. Considering I was not long out of surgery a few weeks ago, so.
How your what is, sorry?
I was not long out of surgery a few weeks ago, so.
You said the calves?
My calf. So, like,
oh, yeah.
Where am I? Like, lower leg area. It's I had a surgery there. It's healing alright, so just a little painful now and then. But yeah, it should be fine.
Get well soon, mate. And MDJ coming towards the final corner now to see what lap time he can set in that Willys at 29.4, so 29.5. So not really the lap time we've seen from MDJ, but he is strong in the race. And obviously, it's the banker lap. It's his first lap time for him. And we've got Harry Kane next as well on the track. There he is in the Red Bull. He comes towards the final corner as he sets 29.3 in P4. Both Red Bulls look like they've got a decent lineup too, with Bahraini joining from Aston Martin to Red Bull then. So let's see how the Red Bull team, the Norwegian team, progress for the whole season with those two, because I know they split strategies back in Baku. It worked for one driver, but didn't work for the other. It was Harry Kane who missed out on a chance of pitting, not going to the pits when the safety car came out. Bahraini took advantage and was able to put on a brand new set of tyres, and he took them towards the end as well, as Harry Kane pitted a bit too early and had to make another pit stop too, and he fell down the order. We've got Adams in at the second. William has appeared here in SFR before. He's been a reserve driver, and now we're coming towards turn 16 and turn 17. It was turn 19 to turn 20, but obviously those corners have been taken out as we make our way now towards the final two corners. The penultimate corner where we saw Lawrence Stroll crash in qualify, pushing too hard as he crossed the line. He goes into P9 there with a 29.9. So it looks like it's a bit the grid. It looks like it's separated just a bit there. We're used to seeing close lap times, but here in Singapore it is expected because it is a difficult track to negotiate your way around.
Yeah, it's always going to be a tough track, Singapore. You can just whack the wall a little bit through sector 1 and that can ruin the rest of your lap. So it will be interesting to see what some drivers will get on as they start to push a little bit more, get a bit more adventurous and closer to the walls. As I believe everyone's probably just staying out of the way of the walls, get the lap time down, because people will be crashing during this qualifying, I believe. Which I don't hope to see, but I do predict it.
It can be quite chaotic.
Yeah, Singapore qualifying always quite chaotic because Lay's are really close to the wall there through just the corner, and he has hit the wall there in towards the Singapore sling.
Yes.
Looked like he kind of just nicked the wall there in towards the old Singapore sling, and then down the new DR straight as well now.
I've noticed that my camera doesn't work in the Addison Bridge, the old Singapore sling. Have you noticed it too?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same for me.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I can only stay on board during the Addison Bridge. I can't go off board for some reason, so that's a bit of a weird glitch.
Yeah, I don't think there's any cameras there in game, so that's probably a reason for that. Laser coming around the final two corners now. Okay, laser, nice little lap.
And he goes into P5 then. Great lap time, his first lap as well. Mackey is not on another lap, but interestingly, he's going for runs on multiple set of the soft compound tyres then. So they'll be the end of their life span in qualifying. They won't be improving those soft compound tyres, as you only need the one lap to do so, or two, just in case you validate your first lap. And there's no point going out as Glock there, getting very squirrely coming out of turn 7 as he heads towards the right hander of turn 8. There's Mercedes teammate in the foreground of your screen as we head through turn 9. An easy place also to hit the wall, especially when you're in dirty air in the race too. Now coming through turn 10, we saw the Mercedes of George Russell, who hit the wall there as he flicks left to right, and the back of the the car constantly stepping out on him as we go through the Anderson Bridge side in towards turn number 13 we go. And this can be a very difficult corner as well, because you're arriving there at fast speed. It's so easy to lock the rear tyres up, and also traction. You can be very careful. Very critical corner, as DRS is enabled in the race, and your rivals, if you make a mistake at that corner, the rivals will pounce on you and capitalise and take advantage with the DRS. Harry Kane makes it a Red Bull 1-2, and interestingly, 3-lap all tyres he's done his lap on as well, so there's still tyres left on his third lap. Glock really riding the curbs there through turn 16 and 17 as we make our way now towards the Prospect corner we go. Let's see what the lap time is for Glock, and he goes pole still.
Yeah, provisional pole for Glock. 12 minutes gone into session, the track will be quite ramped up. That's probably why we see Harry Kane flying up the order with those 3-lap holds soft. So I think we will see a lot of lap times improve now. We'll start maybe even getting to the 27s towards the end of the session, which will be an interesting end to qualifying. It also depends on if anyone is running more of a wet setup than a dry setup. If it is going to be a wet race, which we could see later on, which I think I'd quite like a wet race around Singapore. Nice little chaos.
What I like is a wet quali and a dry race. It's the other way around for me, because you usually during a wet race, yeah, people think it'll be interesting, but at the same time it's so difficult to overtake. Mostly you see people in single file. Usually I like it as a dry/wet race, or wet/dry, but not wet throughout the whole of it, because it can get a little bit boring. I've experienced it before in the past as well, not just at this track, but every single track as well. Martin headed through turn 13, he was a tenth down in the first sector as he's on a 29.4. There is a car ahead of us, which is his teammate, returning the favour as we make our way down towards the end of the middle sector. He's a 10th up for Martin as we head through turn 14 then, so decent lap time so far for Martin. He's improving. I lost a bit of time in the first sector, but let's see where this lap should put him. I think he should put him to P6 at best, depends if we can find more time in this last sector with 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. It's currently Glock on pole position, still waiting for his first win of the season. Martin just scraped the wall out of turn 19 there, and that might have lost him a bit of time. He hit the apex a bit too much and probably understeered as well. He goes into 6th place, does SFR Martin. A decent lap time too, as he did make a little mistake at the final 2 corners.
Yeah, last season it was a wet race. I had an interesting battle with Glock. Actually, not even an interesting battle, it was an amazing battle with Glock. Towards the end I was struggling on the enters, and he pounced on it, started to catch up to me towards the end of the race. Get in there. That was a bit biased by me, sorry. Yeah, Martin absolutely... Sorry, Glock, last time in Singapore. That was an absolutely amazing battle with him on the enters. Coming towards the end of the race, both of us pushing our absolute hardest to just stay in the podium positions, and I think I eventually kept him behind. I cannot remember that much though.
In fact, I actually do remember now, and thanks for refreshing my memory. Yeah, you were ahead of Glock, and you kept her at bay for a long time. He was putting massive pressure on you, and you did a very good job as well. I believe it was it on this game, 23.
It was, yes.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah, so you did a very good job, especially that straight coming up as well, down into turn number 19. We've got Mackett on another lap then. I think he was improving in the first sector as we make our way down into turn 13. Then the car rotating very nicely from the off-board shot I've seen as we come towards the end of the middle sector. We're going to see a 3.6. He's almost 2 tenths up in that middle sector. Those 2 tenths could put him on pole, depending if we can find more time in the last sector, which is about 4 corners. 4 very difficult corners indeed. You can get it very wrong if you hit the apex a bit too much. Ride those curves, but you don't want to ride them too much because they will put you on the wall, and you're getting very close to the wall. But he actually backs out, and he believes he's lost time too. There's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. He'll have one more shot of it.
Yeah, going back to last season, the podium was MTJ in second, Harry Kane in first. So Harry Kane has the upper hand by the looks of things. He looks to be quite quick around here. P4 doing it though, behind MTJ, who finished behind him last season. And then it was me, and then Glock, which was about 4 tenths. Glock absolutely should have passed me, but the Inters kept it there. But yeah, it should be an interesting race to see if Harry Kane can reclaim his Singapore crown, or MTJ can get the win this year.
Yeah, we've got Adams on a flying lap coming towards the final 2 corners. Let's see what he can set in the second. Williams is currently P11 as well, improved by half a second, just outside the top 10. by about 600ths of a second then, so not too far away from that top 10. I don't know if he's got any more time left in this session to go back in the pit lane and do another lap. We've got Laser, who's currently up in the first sector, only by about 200, so a very small margin, and now we're going to make our way through turn 13. Not very strong in qualifying, it seems, although he can pull out some bangers in the very last minute of qualifying, but he usually does one run in qualifying, but I think he's changing the way he goes, because doing one run only, it's going to put you in a back foot, because you don't have a reference, you don't have a feel for the track, and you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders just to do one run, because if you mess up, you start in last place. And here is Laser coming towards the second, I actually forgot the corners record now, or turns. It's turn 18 and turn 19 then, a bit of a foggy memory there as we make our way towards the line. What's it going to be for Laser? It is third place with a 28.7.
Yeah, for the man who calls himself a bottle job in qualifying, not much of a bottle job there from Laser. He calls himself a bottle job, but brilliant lap for Laser. Absolutely on the limit, and oh my god, the cars in Sector 1 are just absolutely all over the place. Few cars in Sector 1. Yeah, smoke on a lap. I believe there was a few cars in his way, maybe. Might have saw a few cars in the way there.
Yeah, he was only about a few hundred down in the first sector with smoke, so hopefully the cars haven't impacted him too much on his run. He did go out there quite early in comparison to others, just trying to get a lap in and make sure he avoids the traffic. Actually found himself traffic, but it looks to be a decent lap time so far as we head through turn 13. And if you've seen a lot of people downshift into first gear to get the extra rotation into that corner, it's very difficult. You can overcomplicate that corner a lot, as Smoke on his own time is only 300s up, unfortunately for him. So can he get himself in the high 29s and try and beat Xena for P14? We'll find out as he makes his way towards the last four corners. 55 seconds left to go in qualifying. I believe Glock has started his final lap with Draugen there in P9, also on a lap time too, so keep an eye out for them with the rest of them on an out lap. Here comes Smoke coming towards the line. It's going to be P14, so he does go into the high 29s and find about 2/10 in that final sector. But all attention then to the front runners, which is Glock, who is currently on his last lap with 30 seconds left to go. No more room for error, no more. He's a 10th up already in the first sector. That's a blistering first sector there for Glock as we make our way now into turn 8, braking before the 50-metre ball. The car looks like it's rotated very nicely on the throttle, then very smooth, no wheel spin, and now we're headed to this left-hander we go. Just flick it in and carry the speed through the corner, then back on the power immediately. So we make our way now into this left-hander, braking before the 50-metre ball, using the curb on the inside. Some people, well, including myself, overcomplicated by taking too much curb and going out wide. Here we are going into turn 13. He almost hit the wall there. That is so close, hitting the wall. Just got away with it. Charles Leclerc back in 2018, I believe, hit the wall. I'm not quite sure if it was due to the race or qualifying, but now we're making our way towards turn number 14. A 10th up, a 10th and a half in the middle sector is Glock. So he's on an absolute flyer. Is a Glock at the Mercedes, but MDJ is still currently out there. Bear with me, Harry Kane is out there. Draugen in P6, great lap time for him. A few hundreds away from Harry Kane in P5, but they're all on a brand new set of softs now, and the one lap left. Let's see who takes pole. As here comes Glock around the final corner. Wow, what a lap! Unbelievable.
Yeah, 4/10 in that final, 3/10 in that final sector alone, absolutely flying. So clearly having some pace in that final sector. Sam has up to P2. 3/10 off a Glock. MVJ still on his lap. Not even a 10th up through that first sector at the minute. And he's down in sector 2. Mackett goes to P3 now. MTJ is down through sector 2 as he comes towards the... Oh, there was Aston Martin on the racing line there. As he comes towards his final sector, Bahrain goes to P2 as well now. 2/10 off a Glock. Harry Kane to pole. Provisional pole. See what MTJ can do through the final corner. MTJ is going to go to P4. So he's going to sit behind both Bahraini, all three of Bahraini, Glock and Harry Kane on the starting grid in P4.
Great qualifying from Harry Kane to put it out the bag at the very last moment. Takes pole by a 10th as well. So this is going to be a very interesting race. Our main competitors, our usual suspects there inside the top 10 doing a great job, and this should turn out to be a good race as well here in Singapore. We did see rain influence as well that race last season. Will we see any rain as well here in Singapore today? Harry Kane's on pole then by about a 10th. Then a big gap further back. I say big though, 3/10 is a big if you think about it in F1 terms. And Bear Emmy's in P3, MDJ's in P4, Samit in 5th place. Both Alpines qualifying good again. Laser in P7 ahead of Jouk, and Kieran on his debut here in tier Div 1 this season, doing a great job. He's in P9. Lord Danny Boy inside the top 10 again. Martin outside the top 10, unfortunately, in 11th place ahead of Langfell. Nolder's at 13th. Adams, the Scotsman, in 14th place ahead of JDM. Atlas in 16th. Smoke in 17th. And Zenum, who will start in last place, unfortunately, for the Ferrari team. But we'll see then how the race unfolds, and I can't wait to see the opening, because these guys were battling it out like they did in Baku and the races before. These guys are always close during racing. It's about strategies, about tactics around here too, and we'll see who can stay out of the wars, and we'll see when the safety car comes out too.
Yeah, the current forecast from the lads on the grid, so that is Martin and Mackie, that is who have told me, it could rain at the very end. So that could be an interesting ending to this race. A little bit of wetness at the very, very end of the race, I'm guessing. Maybe the last 3-4 laps.
Bear with me just a second. My dog is... Oh, I need to sort my dog out, so I'll be back momentarily.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it should be rain at the very end of the race. So it will be interesting to see who does actually risk it, go for the wets, or stays on the dries.
What I'm seeing so far is Harry Kane in the Red Bull garage on the medium compound tyres, it looks like. So the strategy is usually mediums to hards, or hards to mediums. I believe I said that twice. But yeah, that's the normal strategy. I don't expect to see any soft runners in this race unless a late safety car comes out. And I just saw your Discord tag too, Rogue. You said you can't hear me. Do you know what a funny thing is? I had my mic unplugged as I was on a phone call earlier on, and when I put my headset on, my mic wasn't connected to my controller. So I was doing the introduction, and I was wondering why he wasn't responding.
Yeah, not your brightest moment. That I joined the party, said, "Oh God, I'm on stream." Didn't realise that I couldn't hear you. I thought you were gone and done something. Then I realised, oh God, they're ready enough. Where are you? But yeah. So usually, if we see mediums in the garage, that points at a hard medium or soft medium. Probably going to guess hard medium though, as the tyres in the garage are always the ones that they start secondary on, if I am correct.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Rogue.
Yeah, and having a look, actually, everyone is on the hards apart from Kieran at the minute. If you go into the race director, you can see absolutely everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think to do that.
So what all the drivers do before the race, pre-race driving, is what everyone
I do it
does.
too. I do it too, but I didn't know you could do it at this screen.
Yeah, Kieran is the only one of the mediums, which is quite an interesting one to see. Considering his teammate as well on the hards, and his friends, who I'm presuming are in party with each other, JDM is also on the hards. So it's quite interesting to see.
And you can see the safety car at the end of the pit lane, just waiting for the right moment to come out and change people's races too. But I'm expecting to see a bit of chaos around here. Not too much. The safety cars could make a big appearance around here too. Saw a lot of chaos back at the Monza Grand Prix. Won't repeat it. But Baku, there was no reports whatsoever. So hopefully it's the same here in Singapore. With the championship standings, it's MDJ, who hasn't won a race this season, currently leading the championship by 5 points ahead of Harry Kane. Further back is... Sorry?
Sorry, you're messing. I didn't realise Mikey was in the lead. But yeah, that's amazing to see as well. 5 points, quite a gap. Sorry for interrupting you there.
Glock is P3, 11 points behind MDJ, who hasn't won a race yet this season. Bear Remy doing a good job so far in P4 in the Red Bull. Laser, who was our championship leader before Monza, has dropped down into 5th place. He's currently 20 points behind. And Martin is 6th ahead of Mackie too. Mackie, who won a race as well this season, and he starts in P5. So let's see if he could try and score some good points as the formation lap is about to get underway. And also Mackett, who took pole back in Monza, but it all ended for him down at turn 1 when MDJ outbroke himself. So he didn't get a lot of points on that day, unfortunately for him. But it looks like he's going to do well this race in P6 with Laser behind him. And those two are fighting the Honda Championship too. Atlas Copo is P8 as well in the AlphaTauri. He's been under the radar this season, but he's also done a great job inside the top 10. He's currently started in P16. So hopefully he can try and make some amendments and adjustments in this race to be up there. Nordis is in 11th place with Jargon, who looks recently to have good pace in the last few races. He's currently P12 in the championship, 50 points, with Samin in 13th place. Disappointing season so far for Samin. There were a lot of promises made in the last season where he showed a lot of good pace, but contact has been made as well, especially back at the Hungarian Grand Prix and races before. He's got involved in some collisions too, so hopefully he can rectify that, and there's 31 laps to do so. We've got Jagermal in 14th in the championship ahead of JDM. He appeared back at the Baku Grand Prix. JDM 15th place in McLaren, and Sonic Hawk in 16th with Xenom in 17th, Langfell 18th, Rogue Smithy 19th, and Smoke FX 44 in the championship. So there's one Williams at the top and the other one's at the bottom. No, I'm really kidding, Rogue, I'm really kidding.
No, honestly, it's true. I've had a poor season. Of course, getting a serious fan from the Monza incidents. Speaking of Monza, you mentioned MDJ outbroke himself. That is actually factually incorrect, according to the stewards. It was actually Bahraini who locked up and hit MDJ, who hit Mackey, according to the stewards. Just not blaming Bahraini here. It was the stewards, not me. I'm just saying. But yeah.
then later on, you took out Bahraini into turn 1.
That was fully my fault. I have apologised for that. I had a very poor race, and hopefully I will learn from that experience, because it's totally out of character for me. I'm not like that usually. At the end of the race, I mean, out of character. I wouldn't usually do that, but it was heat of the moment. I do apologise for it, and hopefully the admins do let me carry on in the division for the season.
I don't want to see you here in the commentator box. I want to see you out there racing, Rogue Smithy. I'd rather have Oliver in here, but you're a good commentator too, to be fair. So hopefully you can be back in the race in Austin and show what you're capable of as well.
Yeah, speaking of racing, Samad disqualified himself, outbraked himself in the pit box, same for Draugen, as I assume. I'll let you do your thing.
Stewards are listening, said Daniel, so be careful what you say, Rogue Smithy there. But here we are then, with the lights, 3, 4, 5 lights there. We're about to get underway very shortly. And the Singapore Grand Prix is away then for round number 6. So let's see if Glock can go down the inside. He's already overtaken Harry Kane before turn 1. He has the inside line, the racing line. He takes the lead immediately off the Red Bull there. Further in the back, I've got jockey position with Williams and Alpine going side by side. MDJ versus Sammy. But looks like a clean start from everybody so far. Jargon is ahead of Kieran. And I think Kieran's on he's on the hardcore power tyre. Every single driver has gone for the hardcore power tyre. So no different strategies here just yet here in Singapore. But what about Harry Kane? Will he try and go back down the inside into turn 7? No, he bails out of it and just slots there into P2 then, as the race will settle down as all single file now. I don't see any overtakes happening. Just in the background there I can see JDM versus Langfo going for a move up into 13th place. He has the inside line. Further up, the Aston Martin versus the Ferrari driver, and JDM is still fighting around the outside. He goes into turn 9, takes P30 to the 8. What a great move there for JDM, but it's a clean start from all 18 drivers, so very impressed with that. It's the first lap still, so anybody could make a mistake or outbrake themselves or make contact with others. But Harry Kane's right up the rear of Glock then. His race then, fighting with the Glock, will try and stay DRS for the whole race, and we'll see if he'll go for an overtake or not. But clean start from everybody on lap 1. We're just settling down now and waiting for the DRS to happen.
Yeah, I think we'll see maybe a few just little dives up the inside, test it out. Kieran is looking to get straight back past. No, he isn't, sorry. That was the time the screen's glitching out for me. It said 0.17. That was completely wrong. But yeah, I thought Kieran was about to get past it. But yeah, I think we'll see a few little noses up the inside, testing it out, testing the waters on the overtakes. And we'll see how drivers do get on in the overtakes, as JDM looks to be under pressure from Langfield quite a bit, as Adam's nearly into the back of Langfield, as it's all quite it's quite. I don't know what the word is, but it's quite aggressive. Yeah, quiet. Sorry, yeah, quite quiet in the front, but in the back it's all jostling for position. As Bahraini is actually nearly out of the DRS already, out of his teammates.
Yeah, both Red Bulls, second and third, have worked well back in Baku, but unfortunately, splitting strategies was not the way to go. As you probably found out back in Monza when you didn't pit under a safety car and you were out there on all tyres. It's new tyres any day, but JD has made a mistake at a turn 9, which might allow a Langfeld to go alongside it, which he doesn't do, and bails out of it for the time being. And further up the front, then Bahraini is just trying to stick within the DRS there of his teammate. And in the background, I saw an Alpine out of shape. That must be Mackett then, who looks like he had a bit of a problem coming out of turn 13 there as we head down towards 14 then.
Yeah, it's looking quite easy. JDM taking a bit too much care through some of the sectors as well. He needs to just stick in that DRS and all just out the minute to keep the Alfa Romeo behind, the Sauber behind, I'll just call it Sauber, easy enough said, as Harry Kane, not fast lap, not close enough to Glock to get an overtaking to turn 1, Bahraini just in the DRS, no he's not actually, so we should see MTJ get past, no he's just in it, I was about to say we should see MTJ just about nip past down this next straight, but I was completely wrong on that. As Raimi just managed to nick into the DRS of his teammate.
So there is a bit of a split going on in the midfield then. Looks like Kieran, who's fallen out of DRS to drive goods, the top 8 they're now following with each other there, with Kieran being a second group, followed by Martin in P10 there, ahead of Lord Danny Boy. But yeah, Bahraini just trying to stay in DRS there. He has got a lot of ERS at his disposal, same with Harry Kane and same with Glock. So none of these guys used a lot of ERS at this stage, which is very important, very sufficient as well, as a lot of drivers they're not burning in the early stages of the Grand Prix. Harry Kane's right behind Glock then, just waiting for a move. Harry Kane versus Glock, like it was back in Baku and all those races ago. These two have always put a good show with each other, and one of these two could get their first win of the season too, with Bahraini in P3. Hasn't won the season yet, but he has scored a few podiums, has the Red Bull driver, and MDJ, who hasn't won either yet this season. That is correct, he finished in P2. He is the championship leader, but he hasn't won a race yet this season, with Harry Kane all over the rear of Glock, trying to put him under massive pressure. Looks like he's very confident on his tyres, very confident in the corners to keep up with the speed of that Mercedes, considering he's in dirty air. But able to stick with the Mercedes is a very good job there from Harry Kane. And Alpine in the background pulling out of the slipstream, then just want to get out of the dirty air and cool his engine down. It can overheat a lot, especially when you use a big dirty air train, DRS train, as MDJ trying to put Bahraini under pressure, trying to force him into a mistake and split both Red Bulls up. But this is good for Harry Kane though, with Bahraini behind him. He won't be able to be attacked from behind, will Harry Kane? But he's so close to Glock. Will he go for an overtake up the inside? No, he doesn't. He bails out of it for the time being. This is just a high-speed chess around here. Martin is ahead of Kieran then. He's up into P9 and ahead of the Aston Martin. Takes advantage with the DRS. He's currently 2.6 seconds away from the DRS there, as MDJ is getting ever so close behind Bahraini, who is out of DRS then. The crucial 1 second range of DRS. Harry Kane could slow down just a bit to allow his Red Bull teammate to have the DRS, because MDJ is looking really quick, so Harry Kane doesn't want that Williams behind him.
He gets it, just gets it. He was just in the detection point, just about got it, and he will chase down his teammate again, about a second, all a little wide there for Bahraini. It's not going to help his cause, trying to just stay within his teammate's DRS. He looks to be having a lot more straight line speed than Harry Kane, so he's clearly gone for a little less wings. Obviously really high wings around this track, but clearly a little less on the Red Bull of Bahraini, as he's just a little bit quicker in a straight line than a lot of the drivers. As we should see Harry Kane probably make a move down into turn 5. Or was it turn 6?
Turn 7, it is.
Oh, it's all the same.
Don't worry about it. I did get confused. The only reason why I know because I got the track map up. So Bear Remy then is actually out of DRS range this time of his own teammate. So this is a good chance for MDJ to pounce and put himself in third place by splitting both Williams up. Bear Remy's defending on the inside, having to go along the outside is MDJ. He's going to try and stick it there, but he gets on the curb and not able to make the move. So good defending from Bear Remy, putting his car in the right place, making MDJ go all the way around the outside, which is allowing Harry Kane and Glock to pull away then from this battle. There are two groups, two different battles, with both Alpines currently in P5, in P6, just waiting along the lines, with Jargon, who's currently a second away from Mackett there. Laser, who's got overtaken by Jargon, I believe, he's demoted down into P8, is Laser, so not having the best time out there here in Singapore, and he'll be looking to try and get up there too, to try and stay ahead in the championship, but it's not looking good so far for Laser. Xenom there pitted earlier on in this race. He's just made a pit stop. He's on the medium compound tyres, so not quite sure if he had any damage or not, but if he did, he's way behind the pack and 29 seconds away then, so a long race from there for Xenom. But we all know Xenom, even if it's a bad race for him, even if it's a lap down, he will still continue, and that's what I like to see there from Xenom, the commitment as well to just staying out there and finishing the race.
Yeah, it's great to see as well, because it's how SVAR is. We have the points in every single position if you finish the race or get within so long of the race that you are classified. So if you finish, like, I think it's 28 laps around here, and then you retire, you will get classified. But 3 laps down, that is the one problem. Bahraini is back into the DRS, this teammate. Seems to be pushing a little harder now, or maybe if anything's just dropping off a little bit. As here comes MDJ once again. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it up the inside here, I think. No, he's going to back out.
MDJ then had to go around the outside last lap, inside this lap, but wasn't close enough to make a move, so he has to back out of it. And Bear Remy then, for the second time in a row, survives the threat from the oncoming Williams there of MDJ. Is looking very quick there, and Bear Remy, like you said, looks like he's got some decent straight line speed, maybe just missing out in the corners, probably overworking his tyres. Then there's the first retirement. It's a safety car. JDM has crashed out down at turn 8. That slow right-hander. We saw Alex Albon crash there before. We saw George Russell and Roman Grosjean crash there too, and we saw Logan Sargent last season who lost his wing too. Easy place to bin it as well. High traction zone indeed, and looks like he's retired. Not quite sure if it was contact or just lit the tyres up and smashed into the wall, but JDM then is currently out of the race, and this helps Xenom as well. I don't think we're going to see any people. This is very nip and tuck. I think some drivers will stay out there. I think it's a bit too early to pit. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see how the strategy changes in this race, and we'll see if people dive to the pit lane and put another set of meds.
Yeah, it's a really weird place to crash that. It's, of course, Logan, he uses traction, so can't have lost much traction there because he uses medium.
Ooh, that was very close there from MDJ to hit the back of the Red Bull of Bear Remy, but this time they have double stats. Both Red Bulls have double stats. They're pitting at the same time. They didn't do it in Baku, but this time Harry came out and learned his lesson by staying out there with all the tyres. And a quick service there for Bear Remy. He's out immediately. He didn't even get hold up in the pit lane. Did the Red Bull drive. We've seen a lot of people pit. So will the top 5 live to regret the day, or will it have worked out for them? Glock there has decided to stay out. He doesn't want to risk track position. It is early to pit, but Harry Kane then has got a big job to do in P6, and he has to dispose those cars on all the tyres there. So the leaders there have split their strategies, and we'll see then the mediums to mediums towards the end, or probably medium into towards the end, as rain is imminent and on its way.
Yeah, it's just having a look at Logan's stream as well. He is one of the few drivers that streams this race. It looks like he made a little bit of contact with Adams, which sent him into the wall. If we are on board with MDJ, you can probably just see the barrier. It's the outside there, the red barrier. He's just tapped that a little bit and it's taken off his wheel. Very unfortunate for Logan, and it will go to the stewards, I'm sure, and we will see what happens later on. As it's going to be a very interesting race. I wonder why staying out on the hards. It's not really beneficial, considering you've got the rain coming. The mediums will last until the rain, I'm guessing. So yeah, it's an interesting strategy.
So the top 5 are going for their normal strategies from hard to medium or soft, probably, if the rain is coming, and have a little bit of a period on the softs. But that all depends when the rain is coming. It says at the end of the race, so they might be hard to medium and into, but for these guys who have pitted onto a brand new set of medium compound tyres, excluding Xenon, whose tyres are 2 laps old already after pitting a few laps ago due to probably front wing damage, he's caught up to the pack, so this safety car has really benefited him. But Glock in P1, has he made the wrong call, because the guys behind in P6 downwards on a brand new set of mediums then, so he could be in big trouble now at the second phase of the race. Usually early laps and safety car earlier on, you're in the lead, you don't really pit, but newer tyres are always beneficial, and I think Glock might find himself in a bit of trouble once the likes of Hurricane, MDJ, Dragon and Bear Remy, who's fallen into P9 after being jumped by Dragon, had to do the two-stop of course, a double stack of course, so he lost him a place. But Glock has to go to watch out for his shoulders and hopes that both Alpines, Martin and Smoke in P5, hold up the rest of the pack to make sure he can pull away. But Hurricane then, his mission is to overtake those 4 cars very quickly and try not to make any contact with them at all, and try and catch up to Glock and pull away on those medium compound tyres, because those mediums won't go towards the end. They'll have to do another pit stop. They'll probably have 2 sets of mediums if they chose the balanced strategy, which most of these drivers do. I do all the time, no matter what track it is. I always go for the balanced strategy because I always like 2 sets of mediums in my disposal. I don't really use another set of softs really.
Yeah, quite interesting is Martin, Glock's teammate, in that top 5 group, on the hards. So could we see some teamwork for the Mercedes to give his teammate enough time to the rain to pull out a big enough gap to pit for the Inters? Could we see that?
Yeah, good point indeed there. Martin, can he help out his teammate to defend as much as he can to keep Hurricane at bay and allow Glock to pull away? And both Alpines, they've both stayed out there, so they don't believe pitting was the right choice, as the safety car is in at the end of this lap then. So both Alpines have gone for track position in P2 and in P3. Neither driver has decided to split strategies, which is very interesting. I thought one of them would have dived in the pit lane there, or both of them, like we saw both Red Bulls do, or did. And Hurricane in P6, then in Baku when the safety car came out, he did not pit, which really ruined his race later on, as he had to make another pit stop later on and try and make his way through the field. He didn't get very far either in the end, did the Norwegian driver, but looks in a very good place right now. All he's got to do is try and patiently overtake those guys and not to make contact with them, as it's so easy to make contact on drivers with older tyres. And Glock then will decide when the race will continue, as the safety car is in at the end of this lap. Glock will lead them away before the penultimate corner. We can get racing once again, and we'll see what happens then on this lap. Will we see any moves made by the medium? As Hurricane is right behind Smoke. Will he go for an overtake into turn 1? Yes, he will, or try to. He's risking it down the inside, and here comes the Williams. MDJ is also risking it as he goes up the inside into turn 3, and let's see if he can get ahead of the Haas as well. Yes, he can, as the AlphaTauri Dragon will take advantage of him too. So unfortunately for Smoke, he has lost 3 places there in the space of 3 corners, and he's demoted down into P9 now, as Bear Remy will try and fancy a move on the Haas 2, trying to get the older drivers out of the way on slower tyres. And here we are, Bear Remy versus Smoke. He's late to the brakes as the Haas are not giving up, and he forces Bear Remy off the track. Here comes Laser boxed in. There's no way he can go, so he has to back out there, try not to make contact. But Bear Remy makes contact with the Haas, gets away with it though. No front wing damage, just a slight budge on the tyres there. But Smoke is still holding his ground. And now Laser is alongside him. They could make it 3 abreast down into turn 9. But there's contact there. And he might be in the wall. Oh, yes, he is.
Into the wall, Barani. And Smoke loses the position down to P9. Laser is up 2 positions. And Kieran is past Smoke almost instantly as well. So Barani into the wall. Possible damage to that front wing. Block at nearly a second ahead already. Hurricane up to P4, MDJ up to P5, and this is looking to be an absolute classic in Singapore.
It is indeed, but every time Hurricane makes an overtake, MDJ follows immediately, so that's very important not to let Hurricane pull away and have a car between himself and the driver he is racing. Lord Danny Boy is in P10 ahead of Smoke, so he's lost about a lot of positions, but someone side by side in the final 2 corners. That was Dragon, who's risking a move up the inside of Martin, forcing Martin out wide, and he's dropped himself into P7. Further in the background, a Haas versus the Alfa Romeo versus the Aston Martin. That's Langfeld and Smoke, who went wheel to wheel as we head down through turn 1 with these drivers. Noldus is all over the back as the AlphaTauri goes out wide.
Oh, go on, Laser. Round the outside, Laser makes contact a little bit with Martin. Yellow flags, that's Xenon. Oh, more contact between Martin and Laser there, as it looked like Martin came to cover off the outside, and Laser was there. Oh, and there's more contact just to go into the corner. as that looks like Kieran is going to absolutely send it down the inside of Martin. More contact between Martin and Laser, and Kieran as well, making more contact with Martin. Martin in the walls here with the car. Round the outside for Kieran. What's that really smart move to go for there? Is he doing it into the old Singapore sling? No, he's going to keep it clean. Little contact with the wall for Martin there. Up the inside there, that is... Oh, come on, Kieran.
Yeah, a bit clumsy there. Not really an opportunity to overtake there for Kieran. No space on the inside, obviously. So that was a bit of a not a good decision whatsoever. Hurricane is right behind Mackett then, but was not able to overtake the Alpine. Glock's not pulled away as he would have wanted, but Hurricane now has got the two French cars in front of him. And here he is with the ERS he's using. Powers past one of them, and he puts himself into P3, but not yet because Mackett is still there on the outside but doesn't have the grip or the racing line to defend. He actually lost traction coming out of turn 19, and MDJ now takes advantage with Jargon backing out. Why is he not on the inside? Because that is a tight fast corner there. You don't want to go side by side because one of you is guaranteed to get pushed off the track or in a spin. Hurricane up the inside into turn 1. Great lunge indeed, up into P2 in the space of about 2 or 3 laps. He's right behind Glock, but this time on a brand new set of medium compound tyres, and MDJ better traction out of turn 3. Now goes alongside into turn 5 and overtakes it before the corner. He puts himself into P3. Very crucial move there, and not to get stuck behind as the DRS is enabled. Here comes Jargon on the other Alpine and Mackett on those hards, and he overtakes it with ease up into P5. What a great drive again from the AlphaTauri driver. Looks like a podium could be on the cards for him this race, as 3 missed out. Martin versus Adams there. I hear you saying, so this was the contact with the Williams there?
No, it was Martin versus Langfield and Adams versus Nolders. That was just me signing in there. Nolders got overtaken by Adams, so nice move by... Oh, that was a little ride for Mackett and Laser through the old Singapore sling. Mackett just about keeping the tyre on track, so entirely legal for Laser. And it will be interesting to see if Dragwin tries to get past here and Samad.
Great move there from Laser up the inside, takes advantage of him as the Mercedes Glock goes out wide, allows Hurricane to come through alongside, and now he's overtaken him for the lead of the Grand Prix. Oh, there's a bit of contact too for good measure, and they're both desperately trying to stay in the lead, but it's going to be Hurricane. It's going to be inevitable. Glock is fighting as hard as he can. He actually retakes the lead of the Grand Prix despite being on older tyres, but the inevitable is coming unfortunately for Glock, but he's going to try and delay the inevitable if he can, try and keep Hurricane at bay for a long time. But still not able to overtake him. He's still in P1. MDJ is in P3, waiting to take advantage just in case if the top 2 make any sort of contact, and a bunch of cars right behind us. Jargon is in P4. Another great drive for him again. I bet Glock wished he had pinned because now he's going to be under massive pressure. Samed is still in P5, but under pressure from Laser right behind. Here we go on the straight, headed towards turn 6. This right-hander, and Hurricane will take the lead of the Grand Prix again, unless Glock decides to fight back when they're braking, which he doesn't do, doesn't have the grip or so. Lord Danny Boy's ahead of Mackett, and MDJ's waiting in the wings there, but Mackett gets a decent exit, trying to fight with him into turn number 8, but couldn't quite do so, as Langfell is right behind him too.
Yeah, the hards are just sinking like stones right now, sinking like hards on the... Oh yeah, that was a bit of a terrible joke. Tried to try and pull that off. But Hurricane already out with the DRS of Glock. That is really interesting to see. If MDJ wants to have a chance at Hurricane and winning this race, this is where he needs to get past, and you know what? He's done it already. Didn't even need to go into the braking zone, and he's ahead of him.
Turn 14, he goes up into P2 now, and now he's outside the DRS range of Hurricane, so it looks like it's going to be a fight between Hurricane, and here comes Jargon. Glock defending the inside line. He's out of ERS, he's derating on the short straight, as he used a lot of it to try to get past Hurricane or re-overtake him, but Jargon tried to go the inside, but there's a bit of contact too, more contact as he wheel spins into the AlphaTauri, losing traction there, fighting with those hard compound tyres, and it's a shame for Glock because another strategy ruined for him, unfortunately. He's got a great pace, but strategy calls have not gone his way so far this season. He's going to be under massive pressure from Laser behind in P5, but Jargon is trying to claim his first podium of the season then. Down in 12th in the championship, but looking very strong after the last 2 races is the AlphaTauri driver. Managed to find some pace somewhere, and MDJ is almost back in the DRS range with Laser right behind Glock with DRS 2, and he puts himself up into P4. Glock's going to be falling down like a stone, and further behind we can see the Ferrari driver, Lord Danny Boy, going to the inside of Samet, but Samet has the outside line and stays ahead of him for the time being. Lord Danny Boy scored a podium back at the Monza Grand Prix. Actually he didn't, because I think he got dropped down the order if I read the stewards correct thingy right, but Martin is overtaken Atlas for P11. He's also stayed out there too, but it hasn't benefited both Mercedes to stay out too. Interestingly, during that safety car, so it hasn't benefited either of them.
Yeah, Mackett has pit onto the mediums, so that could be a sign of how far off the rain is. If he pitted onto the softs, that means next couple laps. Pitted onto the mediums again. It's a bit of a tough one there, because it could be 10 laps down the road. Softs might not have lasted, or it could be within the next 24 laps. It could be in lap 31. It's going to be an interesting one to see on how this race develops. As Danny Boy's all over the back of the other Alpine of Samad, as Martin is finally overtaken for V11 as Outlook gets past for the DRS.
Both Mercedes at this stage of the Grand Prix are vulnerable. Glock hoping that another safety car would appear so we could put on a set of medium compound tyres, but quite an early pit stop for Mackett there down to P16 from hards to mediums. And Beremy's pitted too, so he's down to P17. Unfortunately for Beremy, trying to go for his third podium of the season, but he won't get that unless something dramatic happens in this race with the rain, with the safety cars, who knows. But here's Lord Danny Boy on a mission, and he puts himself up into 6th place. Another great move, and he's outside the top 6. So Lord Danny Boy looks like he struggles in qualifying, but throughout the race looks like he's got some decent race pace, a decent racecraft too, and he's up into P6. Next target is Glock on the hard compound tyres. Glock will be vulnerable too, unfortunately for him, now staying out on the hard compound tyres. Left to dry is the Mercedes driver, but MDJ is not able to get the 1 second range of DRS. Like I said earlier on, it's so important for MDJ, Dragon, Laser to follow Hurricane, being stuck behind driver on older tyres. It's going to compromise you, and now he's outside the 1 second range of DRS. He can't seem to get back in it, and that's the problem around here when you're outside of DRS, because for some reason it looks like it's so difficult to get back in the DRS range once you're out of it too. Lord Danny Boy is so close behind Glock, gets better traction out of the corners. Will he go for it? It's the next 2 corners. Yes, he will. It goes alongside the Mercedes, and unfortunately Glock, nothing he can do. Lord Danny Boy up into P5, another strong race for him again for the time being. And the Ferrari driver is up into P5, and Samid is under pressure from Langfell behind. Langfell predicted for himself that it wasn't going to be a good race. He usually struggles around here in Singapore. I talked to him before we went to the party together, and he said he was going to struggle, but currently in P8, looking to challenge for P7 and potentially P6 as well.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I'd like to see a few of these guys do well. Kieran a bit of a comeback drive as well, already getting past Martin, the man who he made contact with, which is what put him in the position that he is currently in, as he made contact just past the Singapore Sling. Langfield looking for a move up the inside of Samad. Not going to get it done, as he's just going to keep behind him for now. As actually, Draugen is nearly in the DRS of MDJ, but is in yellow fuel mode, which means he is under our fuel and will need to do some fuel saving.
Well, that is very interesting, considering the safety car came out.
Yeah, has DRS on MDJ now, but has to save fuel, which is, again, quite interesting.
Sorry about that. Down into turn 13, there was a bit of contact between Samid and Langfeld, but they both came out unscathed.
Yeah, it's always... Yeah, you will see a little bit of contact. It's just rubbing is racing, as they say. It's standard. Just a little bit of rubbing is okay, just not as what I did in Monza. That is not okay.
It is indeed. As we head on to lap 16, there's a bit of contact there. Oh, looks like somebody spun.
Samad straight on. Maybe a lock up or just... Let's wait to see what happens to Samad there. He's just gone straight on by the looks of things. Glock is first to blink onto the mediums, and they should carry him to the end of this race. As he's down in P15, P16, probably P17 at this point, Glock. It's, yeah, maybe P16 for Glock, maybe even. But yeah, quite an interesting race for him. Martin picking up another penalty, and it is P17 for Glock. For the man who started in P2, it's all fell apart for him, and I do feel sorry for him.
Yeah, not the best idea to stay out of those hard compound tyres. Those hard runners who are up there have all fallen down the order, and the highest one was Glock as well, who's down as P17. He's actually last in this Grand Prix as the undercut works for Bear Remy as well. Mackey, who pitted earlier too, and Samid is the only driver in this race for Martin and Smoke as well, who haven't pitted during this race. But you said Dragon was on yellow fuel mode. He could use the DRS, try and lift a coast, because he'll have more speed down the straight with the helping hand of the DRS, reducing the downforce, and he could try and save a bit of fuel during his stint. Oh, he almost lost it there. So did DJ out the corner too. But Dragon picked up the throttle when he was on the curb and almost lost the car. So got to be very careful not to do that again. But he's in a really great place. He missed out on the podium at the Baku Grand Prix, and now he's fighting for second place. So he's showing some good pace recently. Is the AlphaTauri driver of Dragon. Very crucial points for him as well. He's down in P12 in the championship standings for the drivers.
Again, sliding a little bit. He's destroying those rear tyres. They're going to be screaming out for help at the end of this race if he keeps on abusing them like that. That was absolutely mental. Just as there we go, all three hards into the pit lane and onto the mediums. So rain doesn't look like it's coming actually if they're onto the mediums. It's not going to be coming in the next 10 laps ish, so it might not come at all, as MDJ is under pressure from the AlphaTauri, as you say, fighting for P2. Has he got a podium this season? I don't believe he has.
I don't think he has. Let me have another check. I have got the results from races before, and Adam's picked up a 3-second typo at him. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Here we are. It's in the folder. I was looking at the wrong thing there. But if I'm not seeing the steward standings, the steward's results, then he might have a podium. The guys that pitted earlier are screwed if the rain doesn't come. Yeah, they are screwed really, because they're just too far down the order. They should have pitted when the safety car came out, but obviously a lot of drivers do different strategies, and we'll see which one works out. But unfortunately for Glock, unfortunately for Samid, Mackett, Martin and Smoke, the strategy hasn't gone their way, and they're very far behind. Even if the guys pit right now, they will still rejoin ahead of them. And here's Dragon. Go the inside.
And he's back into positive fuel numbers, so he has taken your advice, gone into the DRS, and he kind of dipped into it there. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you got the telemetry up, but you just see it dips in and out every couple of corners. As soon as he opens the DRS, it's fine, and it just dips down the straight a little bit. As here we go round the outside, it's going to send it on MDJ, and no, he's not going to get it done. Nice little defence from the Williams.
Dragon knows that MDJ is derated, so he's got him in a very good spot. But there is yellow flags. Is that Danny Boy's got first spin? He's kept his wing intact, thankfully. But unfortunately, he's going to drop down into the order of P9. So running a good race up there in P5, but unfortunately had a bit of a spin at turn 7. Not quite sure if contact was involved for him or he lost up the curb. Very easy place to lose up the curb if you pick up the throttle a bit too early. But they still inside the top 10 in the back of this DRS train for P7. Both AlphaTauri actually doing a great job in this race so far. Atlas and Dragon 2 are quite far down the standings. This is much needed points for both drivers and the AlphaTauri team too. But Harry Kane having his own way for once in first place, and looking, if nothing interrupts him in this race, to win this Grand Prix. If he doesn't pick up a penalty, if he don't make any mistakes, if a safety car doesn't come out, punches up the whole field again, it should be in his hands. And I think these guys will pit again, because I don't think these mediums can go towards the end of the race. They can, but they'll be in a big stretch and they'll be off the cliff. So I expect these guys inside the top 10 to make up the pit stop if they want to or not. We did see Bear Remy take those mediums 20 laps, but his tyres were dead at the end of the race, and he was getting caught up by 3 or 4 seconds a lap. So we'll see. Currently,
if the leaders do pit, they will come out behind Glock, as he I'd say about 25-ish seconds, so maybe just ahead of Glock. But speaking of Glock, he's just set the fastest lap of the race. So I think if you're going to do it, you need to do it in the next couple of laps. Otherwise, absolutely no chance of. It would be interesting to see, because they've still got a 30-second gap, 29-second gap to Glock. So it's that is the man to beat, of course. A 25-second gap to Mackett, so they've still got a decent gap to some drivers. But it will be interesting to see what does happen.
Yeah, Glock needs these points, especially the championship too, because I think in Belgium and Monza he started in last place and had to make a recovery drive as well. But here in Singapore, it's not going the way for him so far, and just on a recovery drive, trying to collect up as many points as he can before the race ends at about 13 laps to go. The gap stabilising between first and second. 2.5 has been for a while. Draugr is not going for a move just yet. He's just biding his time, waiting for the right opportunity. These two continue to drop Laser as well, who's currently in P4. Adams is sorry about that. Adams is driving a very strong race so far. He has got a penalty towards his name, which is 3 seconds, and Langfeld is 1.3 behind. So if he finishes like this, he'll finish in P6, which is a very strong drive for the Williams driver indeed. Let's see where he started. I don't think he started. Yeah, he didn't start inside the top 10. He started in 14th place. So this is a good boost to the Williams team that need the points in the constructors. As in the pit lane comes Atlas then. So he's going to go on a brand new set of the hard compound, medium compound tyres. Sorry, his Mackett is under pressure from Kieran. I believe he's overtaken him. As Draugr is ahead. He puts himself up into P2 as I've completely missed that overtake. I apologize about that. But he is in P2 and ahead of the Williams driver.
Yeah, Atlas on the mediums, crucially. So no one thinks at this point softs will last. But it is a question of who will blink first in this top three. As Harry Kane is the only one with a warning at the minute. He's the only one to pick up a warning. Lap 10, I believe it was, so about 10 laps ago. As should be interesting to see. There's not much battling going up and down the field. Mackett and Danny Boy is quite the closest battle at the minute, and Glock on Kieran is looking quite close as well.
There it is then, Glock right behind Kieran on those fresher medium compound tyres, and we'll see what strategy is the best. And I don't think those guys in the top 8 now can they make their tyres last towards the end of the Grand Prix. Lord Danny Boy is putting pressure on Mackey, trying to recover some lost ground. Here comes Glock around the outside. There's a bit of contact involved too. And finally, Glock is ahead of Kieran, but Kieran not willing to give up. He's using the battery to try and overtake the Mercedes driver, not what Glock wants whatsoever. He doesn't want the driver on all the tyres to fight him as we head down towards turn 18 to turn 19. Kieran loses the back of the car. Glock he actually hit the wall there, cut out the corner to get a bit of a slide on going on. And here comes Kieran, he backs out of it wisely not to go up the inside as Lord Danny Boy has pitted too. Langfeld has pitted, so I don't think those medium tyres are going to make it towards the end. And those fresh mediums with 10 laps to go should be very good. I'm just wondering if the leaders are going to consider a pit stop, or will they take their tyres towards the end like Bear Remy did. Is it going to be a 1 stop for those guys on the mediums now, or will it be a 2 stop? We'll see. But they should pit very shortly not to lose any more time and try and have those laps to recover if they do lose out and the guys ahead stay out as well. Here comes Mackett, is up into P6 then. If the guys do pit, I do think they'll rejoin behind Mackett, maybe Noldus. I'm not quite sure how big the deficit is in the pit lane, how much time you lose. I didn't do my research on that part, but I think they should be rejoined behind Mackett if those guys decide to pit now.
I'm guessing it's about 25 seconds, 26 seconds, so they should even come behind Glock. So, but even then, on much fresher tyres than Glock and Mackett, they should easily catch and overtake them. But it is the question of who will blink first. MTJ might be the one to blink first, being a second out already on Draugr.
So yeah, Dragon's got some decent pace. Once he disposed him, he pulled away from him. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's... oh, what a save, MTJ through the final corner. Little bit of a slide, and managed to catch it. Glock and Noldus down in towards turn 15 or 16. Cannot remember which one it is. But he passed him nice and easily. As Noldus... oh, Glock nearly in the wall. Noldus sliding, and Noldus into the pits.
So the guys who pitted during the safety car are pitting again for another brand new set of the medium compound tyres. But I'm just watching out for the top 3. Will they decide to go to the end? Are they waiting for the rain so they have to pit again if they do go on a brand new set of mediums, not to pit on another set of inters? So maybe they're going stretching their mediums towards the rain period. These drivers know when the rain's coming. Obviously the radar is not accurate when Jeff says the rain's coming in about 5 minutes, but actually comes in 25 minutes or so. I don't know how accurate it is for these drivers, but they know about the rain, we don't. So we just sit back and watch, and let's see if it does arrive or not.
Here comes Samad into P9 on his little recovery drive as well. Past Barini, who made contact, of course. After he was on the mediums, Barini, he made contact when trying to overtake and ended up falling down the order, and he's on quite a recovery drive as well, doing quite well to get back up to P10 from P17.
It's a shame they never beat me in P10 because the potential he had in this race with good pace too. And then after that safety car, where Smoke, he's obligated to fight. Obviously, he has the right to defend, but not what Bare Remy wants when trying to overtake a driver on all the tyres. He wants to get past him immediately and follow the pack. But sometimes the drivers will fight back and not back down, and consequences will happen too. And Drow goes to the pit lane, and MDJ too. So they're both committed to go on the medium compound tyres to take them towards the end.
So this is interesting to see. Laser stays out, Hurricane stays out too. Currently, Adams stays out too. Mackey obviously will stay out. But again, it's yeah, it's quite an interesting development. That I thought they'd make it last a little longer. Maybe try and go into the softs in the last 5-ish laps, maybe. But Laser should come out right behind them, and Laser. Kieran actually pits as well for a fresh set of softs, actually. So first driver to risk the softs is Kieran. Down in P17, should be when he comes out. And he's going to be the one to be the guinea pig on the softs. See how he gets on.
I'm interested to see if Hurricane does decide to respond, because the undercut threat will be big, considering the tyre difference and the nature of this track as well, with the corners where Dragon will carry the speed through the corners. So Hurricane, he's got to respond this lap. He can't respond next lap because be sure he will be undercutted by Dragon and MDJ. He did have a 2.5 second gap over those two, so this lap he has to pit. If he stays out next lap, I think we know he takes those tyres towards the end, and he has stayed out.
And
that's going to be interesting, isn't it?
That is very interesting, as we should see. I think he's banking on another safety car, maybe, as that will help him massively. It will help Laser massively as well. He will come out on the podium if there is another safety car. Same for Adams, who actually dives into the pit lane. Mackett stays out, of course. He might have a stretch to make it to the end as well, as Glock is bearing down on that Alpine.
So, the situation is, if Hurricane does decide to box, he'll be joined behind Dragon and MDJ. So I think he has to stay out there and now risk it to just take those tyres towards the end or go onto the Inters. But hopefully for his sake, his tyres won't punch it towards the end of the Grand Prix too. It has to have that tyre life. But I don't think Dragon and MDJ could catch 26 seconds before the race ends. So it all depends on Hurricane if the tyres don't explode or if the rain don't come. So we'll see if his strategy has worked to perfection.
Yeah, of course. It will be very interesting to see if there is another safety car as well, because that will mix up the order quite a bit, and we should see some fun in the final few laps if there is a safety car, of course. Which I hope there isn't. I hope everyone keeps it clean in the final few laps. Just the 7 laps to go around this absolute killer of a track. As yeah, I'm just looking up into the sky. You can't really see much, of course, a night race. Can't really see a thing. Obviously being a night race, but usually you can kind of see some clouds or some tyre marks on the track come out when it's about to rain, and there's absolutely nothing. So it's clearly quite far out, and I think might have been lied to by a few of the drivers there as a nice little joke.
Well, this could be very interesting now. Now thinking about it, Laser hasn't pitted and he stayed out there risking it too. And Bull Dragon and MDJ catch him towards the end of the Grand Prix. They've got about 10 seconds in hand as Laser. So with 6 laps to go, Laser is staying out there. Will Dragon and MDJ arrive on the scene? Maybe Glock too, who knows? But you can see Dragon all over the back of the rear of Glock. You can see the amount of speed and grip he has already on that Mercedes. You don't want to waste any time on that Mercedes, knowing he's got to catch Laser.
Little slide into the braking there for Glock, and he's going to have to absolutely burn it to get past here. And you know what? He's done it already. And Glock, will we see a little silly dive? No, Kieran with the fastest lap on the softs now. So it's clear the softs are the faster tyre. But how long will they last?
They should be able to make it towards the end. Obviously, they'll be dead, but they shouldn't be in punch territory. But Dragon now is behind Mackett. It's all about Laser now. I think the battle for P2 is on between Laser, Dragon, and MDJ. MDJ still has to overtake Glock, and obviously Dragon has to overtake Mackett, dispose him very quickly, and try and catch up for about 8-9 seconds. The gap towards Laser is. Dragon is right behind then. and we'll see an overtake happen for him. This should be an easy overtake considering the tyre difference, which it is. He has to go around the outside though as MDJ has overtaken, but look at Mack, he fights it back! Oh, he almost hit the wall there. Was he actually in the wall?
He did hit the wall. He did hit the wall. I heard contact. Don't know if it was tyre to tyre, or wall to tyre, or tyre to wall, but there was definitely contact, and we saw Mack it kind of help MDJ there, and not helping Dragon whatsoever. So we should see Laser absolutely under pressure now. Not long to go in this race, but there we go, MDJ has passed, and he's in the DRS, crucially. He is in the DRS. So that will be the interesting thing to see. How quickly will they catch, and do they fight each other?
So the gap now is 7.3 between Dragon and Laser, with about 5 laps left to go. Consider the pace difference in the first stint, and now the pace difference with much fresher tyres. Can Dragon catch Laser? He's got MDJ behind him though with DRS, so I think these two might have to work together. They don't want to fight each other, because if they do that they'll lose a lot of time towards Laser. So MDJ might want to consider about not fighting with Dragon, because he knows he has to overtake Laser too, and he might provoke his progress if he does decide to fight. However, Kieran picked up a 3-second time, but he's on the soft compound tyres. He was inside the top 10 at one stage, but I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. Maybe the wrong strategies. He's down at P16 now with Xenom in 17th place and last with one retirement in this race. I was expecting more retirements, you know, during this race. I might have put a commentator's curse because somebody might cause a safety car now, as I've said.
I'm not driving, mate, so that's probably why you haven't got to add more safety cars or DNS. So, but yeah, I think it's it will be interesting to see. Of course, 2 seconds, 3 seconds this lap is the gap gone down. So let's see the gap between Hurricane and 17 seconds. So it's gone down 10 seconds in the last 10-ish seconds in the last 2 laps. That's interesting. So we'll check the timing. So 1:32.0 for Drago in that lap. I'm just going to check the times for Hurricane in the last lap as well. So it's a 3-second difference per lap at the minute, and that gap will only probably get bigger. So 3 seconds per lap at the minute. If you do the math on that, 3 seconds times 5, 3 times 5, 50. They will catch him right at the end of the race. Final lap, they'll catch him. If they dispose of Laser, absolutely immediately.
Yeah, they've got to dispose a Laser immediately. There's no time to hang around and fall around with Laser. But if they keep this pace up 100% from here to now, they've got to keep up those 3 seconds a lap and not lose any more time. And let's see, then Dragon has caught Laser very rapidly. It was about 8 seconds about 1 or 2 laps ago. Now it's 1.4 seconds. So they've caught him, and hopefully, for their sake, they can catch him at the right time with DRS and overtake him, not be held up in the slow speed corners. Dragon sliding coming out of turn 13 there. Doesn't have the DRS because he wasn't in it at the detection point. But this should be a very easy move considering the tyre difference. A major tyre difference. I don't think Laser can do anything about it, of course. Just hope they can keep those guys behind. But Dragon will pull alongside, wasting no time behind him at all. And he puts himself up into P2. So the gap is 14 seconds with about 4 laps left to go. And Laser then is struggling on those medium compound tyres with MDJ right behind. You can see Dragon is starting to lose EOS. He's flashing on the straight already as both of them got DRS. Laser close to it because he doesn't want to fight MDJ, accepts his fate, and he's down as a P4 on those older medium compound tyres. So the battle for P1, I don't know, you know, because I don't think Dragon can catch that gap.
4 to go. 4 to go, 4 times 3. So let me just check the last lap times. Hurricane with a, not 35.8. Last lap, 35.5. Dragon last lap was 35.5. 32.2. So he's 3.3 seconds faster last lap. This will come down to the very final lap. No cars in the way now, so it's pure speed to the end. Hurricane nursing those tyres. He's got full ERS compared to the two. He's got 92%. So he's saving that ERS for the time to come.
Look at those tyres on Hurricanes.
Oh god, they're absolutely destroyed. Just nurse them, mate, nurse them to the end. This will be a performance and a half if you made it. 21 laps, he's doing me last season in Hungary. I don't know if anyone remembers that, right? Me starting with the medium, did 25 laps, I think? Something like that. Then picked up the softs and didn't get a podium from it. Anyway, so Hurricane, 11 seconds now. This lap is going to be 35.3. So 35-3 for Hurricane. Dragon. 35-3. Dragon's going to set at 32-4. 2.9 seconds. It's not fast enough. He might. I don't think it's fast enough. I don't think he'll have the time. But it is going to come down to puncture.
And if he does catch him, can he overtake him? That's another big ask too.
Yes, yeah. 90% ERS, 65% ERS actually now. Second 3 yellow flags. That is Noldus in the wall, as Atlas is with him. Noldus, no front wing, and reversing into the barrier. But it's too late for a safety car. It's too late. It's way too late. As maybe a couple laps earlier, that could have helped Draugen and MTJ just about nick that win. But in terms of the penalty situation as well, that's quite an interesting one.
Yeah, if Harry Kane gets a 3-second time penalty, it could be over for him too. So he's got to make sure that Harry Kane does not pick up a 3-second time penalty if he wants to win, like it was back at the Hungarian Grand Prix. This type of scenario when it was Laser and MDJ hunting down Mackey for the win. I think it was on that occasion, and he held off, and there was a safety car that came out too at the very late stages. But this is like another Baku situation for Dragon, because it's not the first time he was catching somebody on the last lap. He gained 4 seconds in one lap in the Baku Grand Prix in lap 25, I think it was. And can he do the same today? But he has to gain about another 4 seconds a lap if he wants to win this race.
Yeah, 35.5, so he needs to be in the 31s right now. And he's not even he's barely in the 32s. And he's in yellow fuel again. This is not looking good for Draugen whatsoever. He needs to gain 4 seconds a lap. And he's in yellow fuel. Just in and out. And Lord Danny Boy is in the barrier again. In the final sector.
And there's a battle going on for P4 as well between Laser, Mackett and Glock. So there's scraps everywhere in the last few laps. I don't think Draugen realistically will overtake and catch Hurricane. I think the battle for P2 is purely between these two. Look at Mackett then versus Glock 2. These three are about to make it interesting. And Mackett's defended. He overtook a Laser. Oh, better contact too again. And Glock's off the track and Mackett has spun. He got beached on the white lines too. I don't know. That's he had a lot of wheel spin there. I thought he got stuck there, but unfortunately he's going to jump down his P7.
His teammate right behind him now on fresher mediums. Do we see the two Alpines work together? So Skura P6 and 7 ahead of Langfield, as MDJ is going to have to push absolutely everything on this final lap, even on a sniff of that P2. Currently 5 tenths back, as Harry Kane is on for the win. Barring any punctures.
And Laser, who lost 2 places on that straight, has gained it back immediately after overtaking Glock, but he might lose it again. He's on old tyres versus Glock's. Not fresher, but younger, it must be said. Now they're going wheel to wheel out of turn 14. Glock should have a better exit with the tyres, and he's up into P4 then, ahead of Laser. And Laser's best result could be a P5 in this race, because Samed's fallen behind after that spin. But yeah, I don't think there's no way now that Harry Kane will be under massive pressure unless he gets a puncher. I'm quite nervous that Harry Kane might get a puncher. But the way he's driving, it looks like he's on edge, just trying to survive with the tyres. Can he make these tyres go towards the end? 24 lap all mediums around here in Singapore. And here comes MDJ. Oh, look at this! Oh, that was so close to the wall. I thought he would go in the wall there, collect Dragon with him, but they're going wheel to wheel now. As we go down into turn 8 we go. MDJ trying to go around the outside, but Dragon squares him off. As looks like MDJ gets better traction on the corner. Dragon's still around the outside. And now the wheel to wheel into turn 9. Dragon gets a better exit around the outside there with the racing line as they continue the battle. Into turn 10 we go, the old Singapore sling. Dragon trying to go around the outside, makes contact, and MDJ's up into P2. Great fights indeed, got a bit hectic there and a bit iffy, but MDJ comes out.
Oh, and there's the rain. There is the rain. Final lap. This could be interesting for Harry Kane now. Rain has just started. He is really struggling. He's just going to have to nurse it, short shift it, stay in 8th gear. Oh, there goes MDJ, nearly losing it as well. As we should see, coming around the final corner now, this is going to be it. I'll let you have your moment through the final corner.
Harry Kane has survived the attacks from MDJ and Dragon. Dragon can't be overtake MDJ. But here he is, coming towards the final two corners on all tyres. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a drive from Harry Kane. I didn't expect him to do that. Here comes MDJ, finishes at P2. And Draugen gets his first podium after almost losing it, making contact almost by putting MDJ very close to the wall. And he finishes at P3. Here comes Glock. Great recovery drive after the wrong strategy in P4. Should have won, should have been at the podium. But you have to make the right strategy at the right time. Fifth place for Laser. Sammy will finish in 8th, I think, due to a time penalty for him. Langfeld, great drive in P6, considering he was struggling. Alpine has spun. Actually, Mackett spun in the final corner.
Mackett, yeah, Mackett. He's not going to get. He's going to lose multiple positions there. He was on for P7, P10 for Mackett through that final corner there. Struggling with the rain, just about ahead of Martin as well. As rain started to pour around this Singapore track. Danny Boy versus Noldes for this final position. For P15 even, it's not glamorous, but you know what, it's still a battle, and it could be interesting to see with the rain pouring down. Mackett is out of the session. What has happened there? That is...
He's left the session, so I think he's just popped out of the order.
Session. Yeah, so it's going to be...
He has a caution now.
Yeah, P10. Yeah, it's P10. So P10 for Mackett. It's not going to be changed. Through the final corner, and oh, Noldes! And there we go, there's a Ferrari round, and that was inevitable with the rain. And the rain, look how heavily it came down in the final lap.
Imagine if that was lap 30, Harry Kane would have been absolutely struggling with that car being on all tyres. It would have been very useless being on those tyres on this wet track, but luckily the rain came in the final sector on the last lap, not before, because that would have been very difficult for Harry Kane.
Yes, and that was very... very exciting to watch. Absolutely loved the end of that race, and I'm a bit sad that I wasn't on there racing. But oh well, what a race! And honestly, my driver of the day has to go to Harry Kane. To be honest,
I agree too. But respect for all these drivers. Respect for all these drivers, because there's only one retirement, which is JDM. I was expecting more safety cars, more retirements, and Kieran gets a fastest lap too with a 31.0, but I was expecting a safety car to, or there was a safety car in the early stages, but more chaos. But these drivers done a great job this race, and there was a bit of contact, argy-bargy between Glock and Samid, I think it was, or Mackie, I can't remember who it was, but Laser P5, great job for him on all tyres too. But Harry Kane has finally won. This is his second win of the season, and he'll take the championship lead ahead of MDJ. Congratulations. And Glock might lose out. Well, I don't think he will, because Beremy had a poor result too in P9.
Yeah, of course. And honourable mention to Glock himself. P17 at one point in this race. Nearly recovered. Recovered to a P4. That is amazing for Glock. Did screw up on his strategy, but you know what? He brought it back. So fair play to Glock. Honourable mention for the driver of the day for him. My driver of the day has to go to Harry Kane though for 25 laps on mediums.
Driver of the day though, yeah, like you said, I think it's Harry Kane. Unfortunately, I won't say Glock because it did choose the wrong strategy, and that's why I was down there in the first place. But hopefully he can learn from his strategy calls and try and make amends, because he definitely had the pace today. It would have been a good fight if Beremy was there as two. Beremy unfortunately had full wind damage after the first lap of the safety car, and I'm trying to get the drivers in the podium interviews, and MDJ, Draugen and Harry Kane. Here's MDJ. I'll go from P3 to P1, so we'll wait for Draugen to arrive in the party. There's Harry Kane, and we're waiting for Draugen. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh there. I just saw something funny on social media, so that's why I laughed. Draugen did join my party before the race, the party we're in now, but he realised it was the wrong party, so he should be able to find this party very quickly. In fact, we'll start off with MDJ, not to waste any more time. If he joins, we'll talk to him. But MDJ, mate, what a great race from you. Talk us through your race, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it was a it was a good race, a lonely race, but also not lonely because I had like Harry Kane and um, the Dragon, and uh, it was nice, bit, but my strategy was pretty okay with going into the pits when the safety car came out and uh, seeing that the top five decided to stay out. I knew that we had to just fly by them once the safety car comes in. So that's what we did, and my tires started to overheat because I was trying to push too hard to catch up to Harry Kane. Um, but if I just wanted to, if I just stayed at the same pace, I could have probably been still be able to get into Hurricane's DRS, but without overheating. So yeah, that kind of slowed me down a lot and let Dragon get closer and overtake me. But then when we swapped to new tires, the pace came back and I did what I had to do and overtook Dragon on the last lap, knowing that Harry Kane was too far away. Um, so yeah, that was basically my day.
And also, when you pitted for a second set of those medium compound tyres, were you expecting Harry Kane to pit too when you first came out? Would you try to do an undercut on him?
Um, I was thinking myself to stay out and go to the end, but I thought it would lose me too much time, and Dragon would have probably, he would have just overtaken me on the last lap somewhere if I didn't pit. So, and um, I understood from Hurricane that, like, I understand that he stayed out because he had already such a big lead. But if he was like within a second from us, he would have definitely pitted as well. But this was a great call for him as well to just stay out.
Were you expecting his tyres to dramatically drop off towards the end?
No, the mediums stay alive pretty long from my experience, and as you could have seen, it was pretty hard for us to um, get back close. Let's just say that, and I think if we pitted a bit earlier, like 1 or 2 laps earlier, maybe we could have made a difference, and we could have overtaken Harry Kane. But what was happening. So yeah, this is just what if.
And also, it's your fourth podium of the season too. So after a difficult first few races, Spain and Hungary. Well, I think Hungary was a decent race for you, but Austria, what I meant to say is, you managed to come back stronger, and this is your fourth podium as well. So it looks like your season is shaping up to be a good one. And I know it's early stages here, but we know you've got good pace, and you've learnt your lessons from last season about missing a race or two and making mistakes. So you've lost the championship lead towards Harry Kane, but how do you feel for the next race in USA in Austin? I think you were strong there too, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Well, yes and no. I have some new setups and I need to retune and refine them. At the moment with the setups, I am starting to overheat a lot, so um, we'll see what's gonna happen. Maybe I can improve it. Maybe it's gonna get even worse. So we'll see what's gonna happen.
Thank you very much, mate. Congratulations on P2. What a great overtake you did on Bev. I mean, were you a bit nervous going side by side through those sequence of corners there? Because you almost got put in the wall at one time.
You mean on Dragon?
Yeah, sorry, Jargon, sorry.
Yeah, I mean I was pretty nervous, thinking he would have just turned in and taken me out and lose the position to Laser as well. Um, but that wasn't the case. We left each other enough space, and I just had a bit of better traction and was on the inside corner, and that's how I got past, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, it was a great battle indeed to watch to the end, and great drive to get back Peter after you lost it towards Drago. Drago does not have time for an interview, unfortunately, so we can go as long as we want. And sorry, not Laser, Rogue Smithy, you got any questions for Mikey?
Yes, actually. First of all, well done on the podium for the Williams. Second of all, how are you feeling about this race as well with the rain? Were you hoping for the rain to come a little earlier instead of the final lap?
I mean, thinking about it, no, I don't. I would not have wanted the rain to come early. Like, I have no idea what my pace would have been like. So I wouldn't know if Drago would have been quicker. I wouldn't know if Hurricane would have been quicker or Laser. Like, if it would have rained earlier, I might have lost a lot of positions because I don't know what the pace is like.
Yeah, of course. Being in the rain is not your expertise. Just thinking back to Spain.
Exactly.
As well, yeah. It's Austin as well. It's going to be a very interesting race. Other chance of rain there, so it's yeah. Obviously, we've already asked about Austin. I don't think I've got any else, to be honest.
And hopefully, Mikey, instead of talking to him on podium interviews, he can talk to him during the race when he's back for Austin.
He has to wait another race, isn't it?
No, it's this race, I think.
Oh, I thought you had 3 races.
No, two. It's all up to the admins now. They decide my future.
I mean, that includes me, so yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh shit! Oh no, I can't swear on the stream. Sorry.
Okay, well, we move on to Hurricane.
Damn it.
Oh, sorry about that. Harry, mate, great strategy call in the first safety car to go into the pit lane on a brand new set of mediums, and that really helped you as well to get past those guys and all the tyres, and once you got to Glock, you overtook them easily. So, what's the strategy always on a one-stop and not thinking about going on to a brand new set of mediums towards the later stages?
No, I think I had a strategy that I will pit, and yeah, but I saw that I had quite good pace, even on those old mediums, and yeah, I think it was the right call to stay out.
It was indeed. And were you ever nervous about the how old were not how old, sorry, what was your tyre percentage on later on towards the end?
Yeah, I think when I went over the line, I was like on 80%.
80?
Yeah.
Were you ever nervous about puncher?
No, not really. I was just nervous about the rain because I would have lost a few positions because of the tires, and yeah, if MDJ and Dragon had pitted a lap earlier, I think they both would have got me because yeah, it's just a tire difference.
Yeah, I was about to ask, well, during the last few laps of the race, you see that gap go down, and were you nervous if those two were going to catch you?
Yeah, up until the penultimate lap, I was nervous that they was going to catch me, but I was saving the ERS from the moment I passed Glock, so I had full battery when they were like 10 seconds behind me. So yeah.
Well, I want to say what a great drive from you as well to try and hold on to the win by staying out there on very old tyres that were 80%. They should have been punctured. But yeah, you did a great job overall, and this has helped your confidence in the next few races too, because I know you didn't have a good race back in Baku with the wrong strategy, but you chose the right strategy this time, but it was very risky still. And how are you feeling for USA?
Yeah, I think I'm quite good at the USA. I think I won last time, but we all have developed our skills this season, and I hope we can get a good race in the USA.
Yeah, I hope so for you too, and congratulations on the win, mate. And you now take the championship lead. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's always good to have the lead in the championship, but it's a long way to go, and I don't think I will hold it long with that many good drivers.
Yeah, the pressure is on as well because you've got the likes of MDJ, your own teammate Beremy, Glock, Laser, and a lot more drivers who could try and join in on the championship too. So the championship fight's on. It's close like it was last season. What do you think you need to do to try and beat these guys?
I think I have the pace on most circuits at least, but I think the strategy is what I need to improve on. I have made some wrong calls like last time, and the only reason I won today, I think, is that I made the right call in the strategy, and I think that's only I need to improve, and maybe fight for the championship win.
Yeah, I hope so for you too, and hopefully be interested for the whole season now with you and your rivals getting very close to the track like you always are. And Rogue, you got any questions for Harry?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, we'll run it off there then. So congratulations to top three, Hurricane, MDJ, and Drago. Drago's not joined the podium interviews. And Rogue, thank you for commentating with me today. I was hoping you'd be on the track next week.
I hope so too. It's all down to Mikey and his mates at the minute. But yeah, it will be interesting to see next week as well, Austin.
Yeah, while I've got you here, you need to help with the constructors.
Yeah, I need to pick up my form for the constructors. So yeah, it'll be an interesting to see what happens now. It's in the hands of the gods.
Yeah, Mercedes currently lead the championship ahead of Williams. AlphaTauri are in third with Red Bull in fourth, McLaren in fifth, Alpine sixth, Aston Martin seventh, Alfa Romeo eighth, Ferrari and Haas. But it might change around after the championship standings will be updated. So join us back for the Austin Grand Prix Dakota in Texas at 7:30 on next Tuesday. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all later. It's been a great race. Love you, bye.